Good times. Good times. Good times, baby. Good times. Yeah. 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Kick me one of them funky beats.
Well, hi again, everybody, and welcome inside Silverstein Ice Center's arena. We are back for another season of the Major Arena Soccer League. Great to have you here along MASL TV on YouTube. I'm Nick Vassos, back for another season of MASL Soccer. And folks, after an off season of uncertainty, acrimony, uncertainty, what was going to happen? This franchise is back for their 8th season, and so are the fans. Brad Zimmerman is our director, and I'm glad to be teamed up once again with Comets owner here, Brad Budzinski, who joins me in the booth to offer some insight here into this new look Comets team. And the first person we have to start with is the man who built the team when the franchise returned back in 2010. Of course, we're talking about the legendary Kim Runfed, who is now coming out towards the middle of the field. He is back here to once again build this team again. Bud, it's great to have you back here in the broadcast booth. Great to see you again. Lots of new faces here, but some familiar faces with this Comets team. It is different, but there are some promising players, some young players here, aren't there?
Yeah, well, Nick, it's good to be back with you again, buddy. I told you that. It's good to see you. It's good to be around you. It's good to be back in the arena. It's good to see all the fans here. Yeah, we've got some new faces out there. We've got some youth out there. But I think as the fans are going to see during the course of this broadcast, there's some speed and some athleticism on the field. I think will be entertaining. You know, I think there'll be some learning curves that some of these guys will have, but I think the product will be a real good product.
And great to have a leader in Kim Runfed, who a lot of these players are already familiar with. Kim, while he wasn't coaching here, he was always around the players and always around the team. Here comes St. Louis as they make an initial drive in there, and the ball rebounds out to Leo Gibson. Now, for St. Louis, this team here has something that they have been dying for the last few years, and that is experience. They bring back nearly their entire team. The only player not with this team from last year is Kentaro Takada. Here are the Comets with high pressure here, trying to get a win in the ambush's last third. Ball still rolling around. Lucas Almeida bangs it off the boards, and Leo Gibson will dump it into the corner. The Comets will go for their first change. However, what St. Louis has done has brought in veterans like Everton, like Gerger Gibson, like Robert Acosta. And then they've signed 2 new players, Nestor Hernandez, who is a futsal player. There's a header on goal, and that's the Comets' new rookie goalkeeper. We're going to talk a lot about him tonight, Casey Gasson. And Casey Gasson challenged, finds himself in trouble. Now Hernandez with a shot saved off the line by Pino. And Guerrero Pino saves Gasson right off the bat there. Tell us a little bit about this new player here, Casey Gasson, Bud.
Well, Casey comes to us from the U.S. Arena national team. He was over there with Coach Bernie Lilivos over in Tunisia for the Mini World Cup. He's also from the Colorado Blizzards, so he's played quite a bit of indoor soccer professionally. And I think what you're going to see with him, Nick, is a little bit of jitters here or there, but the most important thing is Coach Alan Mayer thinks he's going to be fantastic. And as we all know, Danny Waltman, Boris Pardo, Stephen Patterson, Alan Mayer knows what he's doing.
Here are the Comets pressing forward. St. Louis back there. There's O'Dane Sinclair, who's wearing number 12. That was once worn by Robert Palmer. Now Ignacio Flores, Nacho, leaves it for Lucas Rodriguez. Lucas is back. Out front to Pino. Players like Guerrero Pino, Nacho Flores, of course, Brian Perez and Lucas Rodriguez, those types of players will really have to step up this year for the Comets to really compete for another Central Division title. The Comets have won 4 straight, but this year is going to be different, folks. You've got Milwaukee, who has a very strong side. Cedar Rapids has improved their team. St. Louis is improved. And the Comets, they've got new players to fold in and try to see what they have. So this is really going to be a competitive year in the Central Division. Just underway here in the first quarter. The Comets and the Ambush kicking off their seasons here. St. Louis just outside the Comets' yellow line, down to Everton. Everton played it back to Kostakis. Cody Kostakis back for his second year with the Ambush. Now Gibson, looks like Leo's playing in the back, and he got tripped up by Kostakis, and a foul is called by Kostakis. Brian Perez is taking over as team captain. We touched on it here just just at the beginning here, and it looks like we've got a
timeout, Kansas City.
Timeout on the field. Kansas City takes a timeout.
Yeah, I think Coach Runtbed initially things were a little scatterbrained right there with the guys, a little disorganized, and I think Coach Runtbed talked to Leo. Now Leo Gibson has moved into a couple changes. One, as you alluded to right there, Brian Perez is now the team captain, and Leo Gibson is a player assistant coach on the team as well. And as you've seen too, Leo's in the back to start out this match. Now, I'm not saying that Leo will always be in the back, Nick, as the course of the season goes, but at least initially right now he says that. That's where he is. And I think they're just wanting things to be a little bit more organized, and that's where the experience that you just talked about with some of those guys. Let's get things calmed down a little.
And that's to help out Casey Gasson, the rookie keeper there for the Comets in the back here. When you don't have Brian Harris, Alan Matingu, Robert Palmer in the back to help you out, and you've got newer players, a guy who, when he first came to the Comets, started in the back. Leo Gibson was a defender, and then he was scoring all kinds of goals from the back, so they had to move him up to the front. But he's back, and he'll have a calming influence on the back line to help out Gasson. Two other games around the MASL tonight. Cedar Rapids is at Milwaukee, and Florida is traveling to Rio Grande Valley. 11:53 left to play in the first. I think this is going to be a pretty competitive game between these two longtime rivals. First quarter, no score. Ron Corey and Brian Martin are the referees tonight. Ron Corey, the senior referee. Here's Gibson. Kicked it forward, headed away by Robert Acosta, who was brought over by Everton from Cedar Rapids. Stokic from the Comets. Forward up to Patrick Kelly, who returns to the Comets. The Kansas City Kid is back in his hometown playing for the Comets. In the corner, O'Dane, Sinclair, Kelly is there. Sinclair comes up with it, leaves it for Gibson, who launches one from beyond the yellow line. That off the mark, and St. Louis comes out with it. In the midfield area, it's Kostakis. Leave it for Victor France. And now just coming back on are the ambush. Here's Almeida. Almeida plays it up to Gerger Gibson. Gerger Gibson played for Syracuse last year. He's another fine pickup. He played 19 games for the Silver Knights. 8 goals, 5 assists. Had a game winner.
Yeah, Gerger is a good-looking player. He's been around the league, bounced around a little bit. I think he's going to do well with under Everton's tutelage.
Everton. There's a long drive from Rodriguez, and a terrific save there by the ambush keeper. Here's Pino. Pino still going forward with the ball. Gibson there shielding him away, and then San Luis pirouettes on the ball. Brian Perez got it back for a moment, then it hits the deck and a foul called on St. Louis.
Yeah, right there what you're seeing is Guerrero Pino, Nick, and
I beg your pardon, it's Pino.
And I think Pino is going to have a huge year. I'll be honest with you. Coach Kim is very high on him. He looks very, very fit. Came in with a right mindset. Is kind of wanting to take over a little bit defensively for the team. I'm very excited for what Pino has to offer this year.
Wow, another save by the St. Louis keeper. Last year, Casey Clark was in goal for St. Louis. He was 1-15. This is the new keeper here for the ambush. It's Paulo Nascimento. Paulo Nascimento.
Yeah, Nick, they just signed Paulo about a week and a half ago. They just brought him in. And obviously, the Brazilian connection with Everton. Futsal player comes into the league, and I think you're seeing Everton's imprint all over this roster. Quite frankly, it's a big change.
Comets into the corner. Sinclair's there, and a foul. Foul called on St. Louis, and they're going to spot the ball at the top of the arc. Foul inside the area, so a great opportunity here for the Comets.
On number 3.
Last year, Sosa took all the restarts. Flores is on it, kicks it over left. Leo with a shot, and that one kicked away by the ambush. Still loose out front. St. Louis kicks it away, but held in by Flores. Ball still pinballing around, and it goes off Kansas City. 9:45 left to play in the first. No score here between Kansas City and St. Louis.
You just said one of the first big changes. Obviously, you're seeing Nacho has now been over the ball twice, right? The difference is, John Sosa's out in San Diego with the Sockers, and so Ignacio Flores has taken over that spot for him.
Here's a pass forward to Patrick Kelly. Kelly facing the defender. Now slides it left side to Perez. Comets team captain Brian Perez. And then left side to Trombini. Now Gibson, near side Stokic. Comets in all whites tonight. St. Louis in their teal and black. St. Louis 1-19 a year ago. Here's a drive and a goal by the Comets! Tanner Hunyak! The product scoring, Goran Hunyak, his son Tanner, back with the Comets again a second time. And Hunyak gets the Comets on the board first.
Great strike by Tanner right there. You can see Nick right here on this replay. He's just got the ball, and he's like, you know what? I just got all this space. I'm just going to go ahead and take that. I don't think that he was expecting to have that much space right there, quite frankly. Nice little side net, upper 90 bomb right there for Tanner. Get the season started off just right. Good to see all Hunyak on the scoreboard, huh, Nick?
Does he look like his dad? I mean, just for a second there, I saw him on the screen there. He looks exactly like Goran. And he struck it just like Goran there, too. Tanner Hunyak gets the Comets on board 1-0. Hunyak was with the original team back in 2010. And at the time, Tanner Hunyak had the distinction of being the youngest player in the professional indoor game at 19. Since then, Hunyak went on to Mid-America Nazarene College and was a Division I first team NAIA, scored 28 goals in 49 games. Here are the Comets again. Here's one of the new ones, Alvi Beltran. Now front and center, Nacho. Perez down to Sinclair. Here's Sinclair, had it knocked away. Here's the new Comets keeper, Casey Gasson. Casey kicks it long for Flores. It bounces over his head. Ball still loose. And Nascimento scoops it up for St. Louis.
You're seeing some things early, Nick, here that are patented Kansas City Comets style, right? A lot of possession, low risk on the ball, right? With your passes, a lot of control. You're seeing the same thing. Just because you got some new faces doesn't necessarily mean the philosophy changes.
Oh, steal by Gerger Gibson. Cross to the far post. Pino screamed at his teammate as he let the pass go, knowing that it was going to be picked off by Gibson. And thankfully, the St. Louis ambush did not make the Comets pay on that mistake there.
Foul St. Louis number 15.
That right there is what that is. That's a timing issue. You got Pino and you got Kelly, two guys that have not played together. Now they've been in training camp for the last 3 weeks together, but you're going to have those timing issues a little bit between players that just don't have the reps with each other, quite frankly.
Leo heads it back to Gasson, and St. Louis able to take advantage of the miscue. And that one knocked in by Victor France. It's now 1-1. Just the kind of thing that we were talking about here. Timing. Leo just trying to head it back to.
Ambush goal scored in 7 minutes and 52 seconds.
Yeah, Nick, and number 15 there for Victor France right there. What you saw is he read initially. He didn't try to body up on Leo. He immediately went to the space in between Leo and Casey, knowing that was what was going to happen. And obviously, just like we were talking about timing, that's one of those situations that unfortunately, those things might occur here for a little while. We want as minimal of those as possible, obviously the Comets fans do, but that's just a part of the game.
Comets just inside their offensive half. That's Leo Gibson, the former MVP. Leo Gibson played just 15 games last year. Well, he missed 5 games, played 15, but he scored 18 goals and had 19 assists. Now nearly another miscue by the Comets. It results in the ball being kicked out of bounds by St. Louis, so the Comets will press out from their last third. Here comes some pressure by the ambush. They're going to pressure the Comets' rookie keeper, Gasson, who kicks it long.
It's a good move. Sorry, Nick. I didn't mean to interrupt you there. That's a good move. If I'm Coach Everton, I'm doing the same thing. I'm saying, hey, guys, first start, MASL.
Oh, a rebound, goal! Sinclair with a great turn, and then Flores. Nacho able to clean it up, and the Comets regain the lead.
That's just being aware, Nick, right? Right around the box, having a nose for the goal, they say. It's a great turn, as you alluded to, by O'Dane, and then just nice and simple by Nacho. You know, St. Louis defender right here is not number 11, not being aware of his surroundings, allowing Nacho to get a free and clear header right there, and there you go. It's 2-1. A couple things here. The Comets have scored 2 goals, not off of mistakes by the ambush necessarily, but more by execution, where the Comets have given up a goal by their own mistake, right? And that, I think you're going to see that a little bit over the course this year. Might see some higher scores than we're used to here in Kansas City, but, you know, that's what happens when you've got a younger team and some newer players.
So here's Stefan St. Louis. He's a former Comet player. Plays it up the far boards to Jerry Gibson. Gibson there is marked by Alvaro Beltran, one of the other new players for the Comets. Gibson with a drive, and that one blocked by Rodriguez. St. Louis picks it up. St. Louis, the team captain for St. Louis. Played back by Dylan Hundelt. That name sounds familiar, yes. He is the son of Kevin Hundelt, St. Louis native. Forward it comes to Nacho. Correction, Beltran. Over to Trombini. Now Pino. And then Gasson. Gasson with a pass right up Main Street, and that was passed right to St. Louis, but knocked out of bounds by the Comets, and so St. Louis will have it with 5:15 left to play in the opening quarter. The Comets lead 2-1. There's Lucas Almeida. Corey Adamson back there. And again, their new keeper, I'm going to get it right here. Nascimento. Paulo Nascimento. Meanwhile, Guerrero Pino with Teal all over his back. Had it taken away there by Robert Acosta. Now Adamson tripped up by Pino. And a restart coming up here for St. Louis in good prime real estate.
Yeah, you're seeing Coach Everton automatically hops onto that ball, starts pointing some guys around a little bit, gets Almeida set up in the spot.
Everton, 22 goals and 14 assists last year in Cedar Rapids. Played all 20 games. 7 power play goals. He's been an awesome player for so many years. Everton fired it in there, and the Comets defense rejects it.
Yeah, Everton saw a little hole in the wall. He said, I'm just going to go and take that myself right there. No need to try to make a pass.
Paulo Nascimento really living dangerously in front of his own goal. Comets get it away. They got a 4v3 here. On over to Perez. And then back out front to Nacho. Comets wearing all white tonight. Gibson for Sinclair. Sinclair in the corner. Now Leo winds up and hits it first time. That one sails over the goal. And goalkeeper distribution coming up for St. Louis's keeper.
Leo looking for those old three-point goals there in MISL, Nick.
I was watching the game 1 of the 13-14 MISL championship last night. And I saw Vahid Asadpour hit 3 in that game. Of course, you might recall. Had 9 points in that game and a 12-4 victory over the Blast in game 1. 3.5 to play in the first. A near steal by Patrick Kelly at midfield from Hernandez. Now Stefan St. Louis runs right in to Trombini.
That's a rough shift right there for Pat Kelly. Slid tackled in the box, tackled at midfield, then hitting the boards right there by Stefan St. Louis.
Oh.
Stefan St. Louis is a big boy.
Yeah.
doing a great job right now coaching at Harris Stowe over in St. Louis as well.
Stefan Stokic back with the Comets. Stokic has been here since 2010. And great to have veteran leadership back for the Comets. Stokic last year, 19 games, 5 goals, 3 assists, lots and lots of blocks. And let's not forget all the log rolls that he played last year, sacrificing his body.
You know, Stefan Stokic, true pro. The guy works his tail off. He's an example in the locker room for everybody, very popular in the locker room. Just a great overall teammate, great all-around player. You know, this year he's being moved to the back, right? Where before, you know, Coach Gorin and Coach Vlaco, well, at least the last year of Vlaco's campaign and then Gorin's first year, you know, they played him as a defensive runner up top. Coach Kim wants to play with their traditional 2 forwards up top, and so that's why Stefan's moved to the back now.
Ball played forward. Leo heads it back towards the ambush side. That's Acosta is there. Foul called against Kansas City.
Foul number 12, Nathan Sinclair, his first of the game.
Leo in the quarter, battling with Everton. Lifts that high into the air. O'Dane Sinclair trying to settle it on the ground, and it rolls into Nascimento of the ambush. Quick return, and they get it over to the Comets half. Coming up on 2 minutes to play. There's Kostakis for the ambush. Right side played out to Victor France. Now San Luis comes near side to Dylan Hundell. Now Lucas Almeida. Comets 15-5 last year. Lost in the divisional round of the playoffs to Milwaukee. France trying to center it in for Almeida. Comets good defense there. Get it out to Patrick Kelly. Patrick Kelly on to Tanner Hunyak. Here's Hunyak again off the wall and nobody home on the other side. Good play there by the Comets. Here's Gerger Gibson. His drive is blocked out of bounds by Stokic. How would you describe Kim Brunfeld in his how he is in you know rebuilding a team once again like he did back in 2010?
Well, one, Kim Brunfeld is one of my favorite human beings on the face of this earth. I'm going to be honest with you, Nick. I love the guy. I love watching him play. I love interacting with him again, just like we used to. It's good times. You know, nothing stresses him out. I'm going to be honest with you. You know, he's got a plan. If there's some adversity hits, he's not worried about it. Give me some healthy players, and he'll figure it out. That's the mindset that you want from your head coach. Because we've got some guys that we've got some visa issues with some players. We've got some injuries with some guys. We've got some eligibility issues. All those things. Kim's like, we got plenty of talent, Brian. We'll be fine.
He was quoted in the Examiner this morning. Let me see if I can find that quote here. I think I remember it. He was quoted as saying, Leo, with you mentioning Leo Gibson as an assistant coach, he says Leo Gibson has spoke more in the last month than he has in the whole 7 years that he's been here. He said he was having a great time. He said he loved doing this. 2 chances out front, and finally Victor France able to put the rebound back home, and St. Louis ties the game at 2. That won't make the coach happy. Victor France, his second goal.
Victor France, a guy that Everton brought in specifically to score goals for the St. Louis ambush, and obviously he's here in the first quarter. He's done that twice.
26 seconds in the first period. Scored by number 15, Victor France. Assisted by number 79, Everton.
France, a Brazilian from Rio de Janeiro, 14 games last year, had 13 goals, 5 assists, including 2 power plays. We are tied at 2. 30 seconds left to play in the opening quarter.
That's a tough goal to give up, Nick, right before the period. We've always talked about that, and it's just something you don't want to do that last minute and a half before, any end of a period or a half. You don't want to give up a goal.
Patrick Kelly picks up the pass from Gasson, tried to slide it right side for Pino. Picked off by the ambush. Richard Schmerman picks it up there. Goes far side to Dylan Hundell. Now a long drive with 1 second left. It goes out of bounds. And Casey Gasson will kick it away in the final minute here.
The 816 Hotel is the official hotel of the Kansas City Comets. Stay where the visiting MASL teams stay when they come to town. Located right in the heart of Westport. The 816 Hotel features unique rooms showcasing many of Kansas City's most famous companies and landmarks, including the Comets. For more information, visit
Horn sounds, and that's it for the first quarter. How about that? St. Louis and Kansas City renewing their rivalry here at Silverstein Ice Centers Arena. And after 15 minutes, it's Kansas City 2, St. Louis 2. You're watching the Major Arena Soccer League on MASL TV.
Let's send it over to Mix 93, Steve Serrano, who's about to reward one lucky Comet.
And we're back live inside Silverstein Ice Centers Arena here in Independence, Missouri. Glad to have you along for the Comets and the Ambush as these two teams kick off the regular season campaign here in 2017-2018. Alongside Brian Budzinski, I'm Nick Vassos. Brad Zimmerman is our director, and we are so glad to be back this year for another year of indoor soccer, professional indoor soccer. And we are going to have quite the competition this year inside the Central Division. Comets will have the ball to begin the second quarter. Game is tied at 2. 2 goals by Victor France for St. Louis. Goals by Tanner Hunyak and Ignacio Flores, affectionately known as Nacho around these parts. Long ball and hit on the volley there. Sinclair hit it too high. Rebound comes out front. Almeida forward. That one goes to Adamson. Adamson in the corner. Off the boards and kicked away by Leo Gibson there in front of Gasson, the Comets' new rookie goalkeeper. Kick towards the ambush's last third, and it's picked up there by João Pepe. Pepe kicks it long for Everton. Everton had it kicked away from behind. The Comets will take over. Comets will get some changes here. Nacho goes off and Kelly comes on. Stokic comes back onto the field. Rodriguez plays it forward to Stefan, who's got some space. Stefan rolls to his right, still going right. Fires his shot, and Nascimento makes the save. Picked up there by Victor Franz. Victor Franz could not get by Leo Gibson, who strips him of the ball. Leo plays near side for Kelly. Kansas City Kid forward into the corner, goes to Tanner Hunyak. Hunyak back to Kelly. Now Gibson to Kelly. Here's Kelly looking for Hunyak in the middle. Robert Acosta. He's not fake news. He came from Cedar Rapids. Played forward. Here's Jer Gibson. Can he catch up with it? Gasson is there for the Comets. They clear it away.
Yeah, just a little thing I noticed right there. Even that ball that came back to Casey, just a little quick to play that out where he could have played a simpler ball right to Leo, and the Comets had possession there.
Perez to Pino. Ball still loose. And it's kicked out of bounds, and the Comets are going to have it here right at the top of the arc. Brian Perez, was just talking to Jeff Houston here. Brian Perez, just the third captain in Comet history since this latest edition of the Comets has come around. Gibson to Rodriguez, and a save made by Paulo Nascimento. Paulo's made some pretty acrobatic saves here early on in the first half. Impressed with this new keeper for St. Louis. San Luis. Over to Hernandez. Nestor Hernandez from Natal, Brazil. Now Adamson. Forward to Corey Dow. Corey Dow is St. Louis native. St. Louis still has several players from the St. Louis area. They always do. Corey Adamson, he's from Clearwater, Florida. Now Hernandez. Corey Dow. He's got a big foot. He'll strike one from that yellow line. His pass intercepted by the Comets. Here comes Guerrero Pino. What a play by Pino, the Comets. Pino still going forward. Now cuts it back. He was cut down, but now he fouls Hernandez, and the Comets will reset.
Yeah, right there, what I'm watching with Pino is a player that's feeling, we've talked about Nick in the past 30 games, right? It's kind of the number for a lot of these guys. So Pino's obviously played 22 games last year. The season this year has been extended to 22, regular season has been extended to 22 games. So what you're going to see with Pino, I think about middle way through, right, is he's going to start to, the game's going to slow down for him a little bit. And that's a perfect example right there. He did a great job at dispossessing them and at the ambush and making the transition there. But then he tried to do a little bit too much. And that's still just a little bit of the game's moving too fast for you.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, the game's first penalty called by Brian Martin. It's going to go against the Comets. Ignacio Flores for tripping. And here it is. Nacho got in there, and yeah, it was a clear call. Clear case of tripping. So power play for St. Excuse me.
Anytime you've got anybody going up into the boards, Nick, that's a spot right there that the league has emphasized. Those are going to be 2-minute penalties automatically every single time. Right here, Nick, you just noticed something. Okay, so Pino was on the penalty kill, and then he ran off the field, and they put Alvey onto the penalty kill. Okay, so right off at the bat, the Comets are disorganized, and there you go. Look at that.
And the rebound scores. It is a power play goal for St. Louis. Did not see who got that goal. I'm going to guess it might be Richard Schmerman. Nope, it's going to be Pepe.
Yeah. So I mean, you heard me say it.
Yep.
Is you number one rule set pieces, offensively and defensively, you got to be organized, right? Number one rule. And you saw Pino run off at the last second as the ambush were already playing the ball out. And so Alvey gets into his spot late, and then who's the guy that takes the shot? You know, is the guy that's right by Alvey, and then the rebound obviously is the finish. That's a good job by the St. Louis ambush, just recognizing, hey, look, these guys are disorganized. Let's just go at them early. Don't try and knock it around the box at all. Let's just go ahead.
Both teams digging for the ball. And coming out with it is Daniel Burko. Wow, then Burko lost the handle. Comets with a touch, but St. Louis eventually gathers it back. Richard Schmerman's pass. Knocked away by Kelly. Now the 50-50 ball fought for near the referee's crease. Still bouncing off the top of the dasher boards onto the field now. And here's Kostakis, and a late whistle. And they're going to say it hit off of the table where the assistant referees are, and then say it went out of bounds.
Comets catch a little break right there.
Yeah.
A 2-on-1 situation for the ambush. You know, we just had Coach Flacco Andonoski up here in the booth, Nick, and one of the comments that he just made to me was, you know, guys like Leo and guys like Lucas and guys like BP, they need to just kind of step on the ball a little bit, just get the game under control and slow things down a little bit.
Adamson had it for a moment, broken up by the Comets. Rodriguez is there on the near boards. Dugout and won by Acosta. Left for Corey Dowell, who shoots. That one deflected off of Stokic. And I think Gasson got a piece of it for the Comets as well. Now Acosta, another drive, and Gasson makes an easy save and does hang on. Gasson kicks it out to Rodriguez. Comets will build it out of the back. Into the corner looking for Hunyak. Dylan Hundelt is there. Three-line violation called against St. Louis, so the Comets will have it on the yellow line, 50 feet away, front and center. 9:45 left to play until halftime. Ambush have taken a lead on a power play goal by Jao Pepe. There's the shot by Acosta, and there's the Comets' new keeper, Gasson.
So you got Nacho on the ball here. You got Leo Gibson on the left. You got Stokic down in the left-hand corner. You got Lucas's left foot on the right side. You got Tanner Hunyak on the back post over there.
Looks like we've got a warning for too many people on the field against the Comets. Next time they'll be penalized.
Now, something our broadcast crew doesn't see here is you've got the two referees talking, but what I just noticed is I watched Leo walk over and look towards Nacho, and they just called out a little change of the play.
Now Brian Martin's going to go over there and talk to Coach Kim.
It's like an NFL replay all of a sudden, Nick. Right? Like what do you do here? You just talk about the analyzation of this thing. I'll make a small comment about all that stuff right there. I feel like the officials in every sport are involved too much. It's too much dead time for the fans. I'll just say it, Nick. And I'm a Royal season ticket holder. I'm a Chiefs season ticket holder, and
Okay, so after that, I guess there was no violation on the Comets. After all that, we're ready to go. So here, let's see what happens here. Nacho over to Leo, to Stokic. Nascimento comes off his line to kick it away. Flores is there for the Comets. On back to Gasson. Casey Gasson. Into the middle now, the high bouncing ball. Picked up by Lucas Almeida, the ambush. Played forward, but taken away there by the Comets. Ooh, good play there. Here comes Alvey. No, that was Pino. Correction. Over to Stokic. Now Perez with a drive. Bangs off a couple of ambush players, and that one cleared away by Corey Adamson. 9 minutes to play in the first half. Comets trail by 1. First game of the regular season. Gibson plays it long. Dylan Hundelt is there along with Tanner Hunyak. Flores, now shot and a goal! Flores able to dig it out of the boards and play it to Alvaro Beltran. And the rookie gets his first goal as a member of the Comets, and the game is tied at 3.
I'll tell you, Nick, it's exciting to see Alvy score. So we call him Alvy, okay? It's Alvaro Beltran, but we call him Alvy. Alvy's a young man who came to us from one of the numerous recommendations from around the country, okay? We have some other players that are coming. As you know, Coach Runfed's tentacles, if you will, extend overseas and all over. And Alvaro is one of those guys that has instantly came in. Coach Kim comes up to me after the second day of practice, says, "Brian, we're signing him." That quick, 2 days into training camp, the guy's been with us the whole time, and it's good to see a young man get rewarded like that.
Awesome. Good play by Stokic. Stokic shoots, ding dong off the post. Oh, Margaret, what a potentially great play there by Stefan. And then Stefan goes down in a heap. Stokic shaken up. Hobbles off of the field. Here's Casey Gasson. His pass picked off by the ambush, and thankfully St. Louis kicked it right back to the keeper. And then his distribution is picked off by San Luis and knocked out of bounds. Flores on up to Guy Gomes. Here's Kelly for the Comets. Back to Beltran.
See, I like that right there by Pino. Just kind of sit on the ball a little bit. Let some changes happen. Just calm things down a little.
Here's Rodriguez. Now Pino. Into the corner. And it's picked up there by Paulo Nascimento. Pepe. Into the corner for Dowell. Dowell away from the goal to Acosta. Here's Acosta. Forward to Dowell. Comets maintaining their shape. Acosta goes off and San Luis comes on. Adamson. His drive deflected wide. Guy Gomes of the Comets. Out to Flores. Now Rodriguez. St. Louis getting back defensively. Alvaro Beltran from Santiago, Chile. Another product of Mid-American Nazarene University.
Coach Kevin Wardlaw doing a great job there with Mid-America, perennially a national power. You know, I'll tell you, Nick, we are blessed here in Kansas City between Park University, Baker University.
Oh, yeah.
Mid-America, UMKC. There's numerous other colleges. I can name them all. But those schools, Park, Mid-America, Baker, UMKC, their imprint is all on this roster right here. And these guys, they might not be from Kansas City originally, but they went to college at these places. These are Kansas City guys that our coaching staffs in this city have produced these players that are professional level players. I mean, it's like Ephraim Shimless is running the AAA franchise for the Comets, for goodness sakes, Nick. Every year he's got another guy coming.
He does.
We got two more that are getting ready to play. A guy named Mirko and a guy named Tim Kloster that are both coming that we're waiting on their visas.
Wow.
Two other Park guys that are going to be playing for the Comets.
Here's Leo. Over to Stokic, who's back into the game. Stokic's pass, his touch let him down. Everton comes away with it. Game tied at 3. Everton near side for Schmerman. Schmerman to Victor Franz. Toe poked it with the left foot. Blocked by the Comets. 5:26 left to play in the first half. Ambush out shooting Kansas City 9-8. Almeida back to Acosta. Comets On defense, now Gerger Gibson. Gerger off the boards. Costa is there. That one sprayed across the goal mouth as Gasson was on the seat of his pants. Now Victor Franz. Oh, now that could be a penalty called on Rodriguez, and sure enough as it is, he kicked. I think who did he get? Should he get Victor Franz there? He did. You'll see it again here. Well, actually, he didn't. It looked like he kicked him, but he sort of ran into him.
You get a couple things. One, both players were tangled up about 5 minutes before, or about 5 seconds before that replay started right there. And then Victor Franz knew Lucas is coming on his back right there, and so he stopped. Smart move right there, and then you get the penalty kill now, or you get the penalty called. Now you're right under 5 minutes, Nick. The question for me is this: is the Comets, are they going to be organized on this power play compared to how they were last time? Because if you remember last time, Pino subbed right off, Alvaro Beltran subbed right on, and then Ambush rightly attacked right to it, and there you go, you got a goal. So see if they come out a little bit more organized this time, and if they can kill that power play there.
Is John Saez. John is a Marine and Desert Storm veteran who has dedicated his life to the service of his country and community.
And you can see here the Comets honoring our veterans, saluting, a salute to service here. Members of Team Fidelis, a local nonprofit group here that supports veterans in our Kansas City area. Team Fidelis was founded by a retired Marine who has gone through the dark side of PTSD and has come out on the other side to help veterans who return from war and might have some difficulty readjusting to society. 20 veterans a day die by suicide, and it's that group right there that you're looking at is doing their part in Kansas City to reduce that number. We thank them for being here. Thank them for their service.
Go to Kansas City, number 10, Lucas Rodriguez. It's 10 minutes and 8 seconds in the second quarter. 2 minutes for pushing. This sent to the penalty box, sponsored by Mark Ferguson.
Okay, first change from the first power play kill for the Comets is Pino is on this time and not Beltran, and Pino was on in the original part, but the other three guys are the same. Pat Kelly with the speed, Stefan Stokic with the speed, Leo Gibson with his leadership, and then Pino is a strong defender on the ball as well as speed.
Comets playing a box here. Now Everton. Near side it comes to France. Victor Franz. Now Everton to Almeida, back to Everton. Oh, and a bad pass there. Taken by Pino. He lost the handle. He gets tripped up, and a foul is called on St. Louis.
There's your speed that we're talking about right there with Pino. He's able to recognize a slow pass, jumps on it, and then now he's able to hold it. St. Louis is forced to foul because otherwise Comets are going to go shorthanded the other way.
Adamson is first of the game.
Four and a half to play in the first half, and, well, Casey Gasson just kicked it out of bounds.
You know,
this is the first time he's played in an arena like this, with a crowd like this, against players like this. He's learning.
You're kind, Nick. You're very kind. You know, we've sat on this broadcast before where, you know, I don't want to say that I've called things out, but, you know, Flores, if you remember Flores for Chicago.
And that one just driven right in there, and pretty soft goal given up there by Casey Gasson. And the Ambush have their second power play goal of the night, and they retake the lead 4-3.
So as I was saying there, Nick, is, you know, we used to talk about how Flores would, for Chicago Mustangs, would struggle with his distribution, and the Comets would just they just pick at it. What you do is you're putting your team under a lot of pressure and stress, okay, because you're having to defend unnecessary situations. Casey's poor distribution after the Comets had turned over the Ambush allowed them to have to now re-be it back on defense, and then you now give up that goal, and it's because of the poor distribution.
Accidents happen. If you had one drink too many and got pulled over for a TY.
Just under 4 to play. There's one of the referees tonight, Brian Martin. There's Stefan San Louis. Stefan passed it out to Burko. Schmerman. Now near side, Hernandez. Hernandez a wall pass to Burko. Back to Nestor. Across the line to Schmerman. Forward to Jerjer Gibson. Healed back, now taken away by Stokic and the Comets. He's run to the ground, no whistle. And fighting for it on the half line is Perez and Gibson. Paulo Nascimento. Pass up Main Street to Schmerman, and then funnel into the corner for Dowell. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to play in the first half. Here's Adamson. Adamson kicks it over the glass, out of bounds. And goalkeeper distribution coming up for the Comets.
Now the question is, what kind of distribution are we going to get, Nick, out of this? Is Casey going to start this? You know, what I'm interested to see, quite frankly, to be honest, is what's Coach Alan Mayers going to do with Casey at halftime. Is the Comets going to make a change and say, hey, look, I know Coach Runfed wants to play transition soccer out of the back from the goalkeepers, okay? That's a difference in philosophy than what we've seen. The Comets before used to build the ball up out of the back. Coach Runfed wants to transition out with the midfield specifically. I wonder if they're going to make a change based off of Casey's distribution at halftime, where that takes a little bit of that pressure off of him, and then they start to build the ball up out of the back.
Right now on the back line, it's Pino and Beltran back there. There's Beltran. Dow comes up with it for the ambush now. Here's Corey Dow. Ball get a little bit too far away from the Comets, take it back. Here's Rodriguez. If they hustle, they can get something going. Rodriguez out to Kelly on the far side. And a foul called on Patrick Kelly, a dangerous foul. That was pretty close there, but Brian Martin blows the whistle, and they'll go back the other way with it. Take a look at this.
Tough call.
Yep.
I mean, the referee's in a position, so you defer to their opinion.
Two minutes and 25 seconds left to play in the first half. Ambush 4, Comets 3. Nacho heels it back for Perez, and Perez goes down. Victor Franz takes him down. Perez holding his back, it looks like.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, BP's playing hurt tonight. Nice little first heel nutmeg right there by Nacho Flores. Got a little salsa to his game, huh, Nick?
For sure. Give and go. Flores. Oh, looking for Beltran there to hit it first time. Could not. Boy, that was a mistake there by St. Louis. Victor Franz headed off Everton out of bounds, so the Comets will have it. Into the middle looking for Guy Gomes. Here's Gibson. Into the corner for Flores again. Flores marked by Pepe. Now Leo front and center. He tees it up off the glass. Rebound fought for, and Guy Gomes puts his big frame in front of Everton's and wins it back for the Comets. 1 minute, 38 seconds left to play in the first half. Boy, if the Comets could get one here late, that would send them in the locker room in a really good place. 90 seconds to play. Now Gibson. Gibson over to Hunyak. Tanner Hunyak dribbles it away from the goal to Stokic. Now Stokic to Leo near side. Leo to Hunyak, who tried to head it in there.
Good off-the-ball run.
Wow.
By Tanner Hunyak. Good off-the-ball recognition right there. Ball goes to Leo. Two-touch right there. 1-2. Great off the ball.
Oh, wow.
Everton did an excellent job. See, that's the difference in that goal that happened earlier for the Comets. The defender for the St. Louis Ambush was not aware of his surroundings. That right there, if Everton is not aware, then you don't get that. That's a goal right there, Nick.
An amazing goal at that. Under a minute to play. Here comes Pepe of the ambush. Play it back to Paulo Nascimento. Coming on is Schmerman.
Smart move by the ambush right here. They're just saying, hey, we'll go to halftime up by a goal. You want to pressure us, then that's fine.
Gibson in the corner. Ball comes out. 30 seconds to play. Here's Burko. Now Beltran. Played forward, 19 seconds left. Beltran again. Over to Tanner Hunyak. Here's Kelly. 8 seconds left. Burko plays it long. 3 seconds left, and that ought to do it for the first half. Horn sounds, and that's it. First half of the books, kind of a win as expected for both teams. And St. Louis ends up with a goal lead. It's 4-3 in favor of the Ambush. What do you think there in the first 30 minutes, Bud?
Well, I thought two things. I thought, one, there's a lot of disorganization in the back by the Comets. I thought, two, again, disorganization on a power play. You gave up a goal right there. And then I think, obviously, Casey Gasson has got to work on his distribution out of the back to relieve some of that stress for the Comets players from having to defend for such long stretches. Now, Ambush, I felt like they capitalized on the Comets' mistakes. I think Victor France looks fantastic. I think their goalkeeper looks really good. And you could see Everton's input all over this team. Much better, and I'm not saying anything negative from what was there last year, but very much better, well-coached team, by the St. Louis Ambush.
Without a doubt. All right, so we are at half here, and we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll have the second half action for you. St. Louis Ambush 4 and the Kansas City Comets 3. Thank you for watching the Major Arena Soccer League on MASL TV on YouTube.
How could I possibly be expected to go without Domino's on a day like this? Alexa, ask Domino's to place my easy order.
Ordering Domino's.
Life moves pretty fast. If you can't track your pizza, you could miss it.
Order 2 medium 2-topping pizzas for just $5.99 each and track them on your favorite device.
Great to have you along, MASL TV. Nick Vassos live at Silverstein Ice Centers Arena, alongside Brian Budzinski. Also, Jeff Houston here at our broadcast position. Brad Zimmerman is our director this evening. I want to thank Brad and his entire staff for the great setup here at Silverstein. Our photographers around the arena getting us the great shots. And all of the fans that are here for the first game of the 17-18 season. Comets' next game is going to be against the Milwaukee Wave here on Friday. Wait a minute. That was last year. I'll get this year's schedule here in a second. Okay, so we're underway here in the second half, and the Ambush lead the Comets 4-3. The Ambush have 2 power play goals. Victor Franz has a couple of goals for St. Louis. Also, Pepe has scored his first goal. And Corey Adamson has a power play goal. For the Comets, goals by Honyak, Nacho Flores, and Alvi Beltran, the newcomer. There's Leo Gibson on the back line, sends it near side for Kelly. We'll see what we can see in terms of the adjustments that the Comets have made in the second half. Sunday, November 12th is the Comets' next game, and there was a drive broken up by the Ambush defense. Here's O'Dane Sinclair. Wall pass. And St. Louis back with it the other way. Ambush, a much different team than a year ago. St. Louis 1-19. Here's Stokic. Back to Casey Gasson, and his pass picked off. Now Franz again, and his drive blocked by Stokic. Boy, Casey Gasson is having a tough time trying to get the ball out of the back. Hernandez forward to Jerjer Gibson. Now Burko. St. Louis. Comets with a much different team than a season ago. Comets have their top 3 scorers from a season ago, 3 of their top 5. There's another acrobatic save by Paulo Nascimento. Pino. We're going to have a penalty coming up against St. Louis. And it would appear that Richard Schmerman is going to go off for boarding. And we'll get another replay of it right here.
2-minute penalty for boarding. Says for number 11, Richard Schmerman. And 2 minutes.
Here comes Schmerman. Oh, yeah. Schmerman sent Guy Gomes into the boards, and Ron Corey was quick to pull the blue card there. Nice piece of sportsmanship there by Schmerman to ask if Guy Gomes was all right. So Comets go on the power play. Let's see how they do here. Perez, Rodriguez, Gibson, Pino, and Flores. There's your power play team for the Comets. And a bit of a miscue here that's going to cost some seconds here. 1 minute and 40 seconds on the Comets' advantage. They trail by 1. Now Gibson with a drive, and that one just wide. Pino to Perez. Rodriguez. Now Perez again. Left side, Leo. Leo skip past to Pino. Off the boards, through the area, back over to Leo. Rodriguez will take a crack at it. That one nearly got through. Now Perez, a drive. Headed in! What a play by Nacho Flores. Nacho, his second on the night, a power play goal, and the game is tied. I can't wait to see the replay here. Ryan Perez drove the ball in there, and it might have deflected off somebody. Yep, it did. And Flores was there on the back post to fill in the gaps, and the Comets have the game tied at 4. Flores is one of those players like Guerrero Pino that the Comets are going to count on this year to step up. With the loss of 3 of their top 5 scorers like John Sosa, Vahid Asipor, and Ramon Palmer, the Comets need those second and third year players to really step up. And of course the Comets out without 4 key defenders, starting one with Steven Patterson, who has decided not to play this year. Robert Palmer, of course, in Tacoma, along with Alan Matingu, and Brian Harris also out. Now a ball loose out in front, and San Luis is scissorsing the ball. And Casey Gasson got lots of help from his teammates, and he may have been kicked in the face. Gasson will throw it out to a teammate. It's Perez. Perez looking for Beltran. Paulo Nascimento tried to clear it away. Comets trying to get it back. Corey Adamson is there. Plays it over to Everton. Everton runs right into O'Dane Sinclair. It's picked up, and St. Louis continuing to go forward. Dylan Hundelt there with a touch near side. Almeida bangs it into the middle there. Patrick Kelly gets up in it and taken down, and a foul called on St. Louis. Here's another exchange of that flurry in front of the Comets' goal. Finally, Gasson able to smother the ball. Beltran out with it for the Comets. Nacho has got it. 2 goals for Nacho tonight. Brian Perez wearing the captain's band for the Comets tonight. Brian Perez, with a vote of his teammates, was named the team captain. Perez got knocked into the boards by Jerjer Gibson, and there was no call. You can see Coach Kim Runfed over there talking to Ron Corey about why wasn't that some sort of penalty. Coach Runfed chewing on Brian Martin. Pino, meanwhile, will kick it long for Tanner Hunyak. Comes back out front and center, and Stokic was running in on it but couldn't get a boot on it. Boy, Jerjer Gibson is throwing his weight around. He is knocking Comets down left and right. Here's a long toss by Paulo Nascimento. Leo heads it back to the center circle. And eventually all the way back to Paulo. Nascimento forward to Burko. Burko to Hernandez. Hernandez with a drive, and that one deflected off Stokic's head. Corey Dow is over there. Corey turns and fires. Shot by Hernandez, and a save made by Gasson. And now a whistle, and a player shaking up on the field. That's a Comet player. Is that Stokic shaking up?
New year, new you. Check out Private Clinic of the Midwest to ease those aches and pains. For its 800 calories.
Here's another replay. Let's see if we can find out what happened here. There's Hernandez on the initial drive, and yeah, that went off Stokic's head. Maybe that one still a little bit groggy. Still marking Dowell. And then when the play is over, he goes down. If we pan to the right just a little bit, we'll see Stokic. There he is. He's up on his feet. It is not all that uncommon to see a player shaken up or maybe get his bell rung from a soccer ball. In this game right here, where the ball can travel as fast as 70, 80 miles an hour, if it strikes you in the head, it can really hurt, and it could send you into a bad place. Brian Budzinski rejoins us here at our broadcast position. Casey Gasson up with the ball. Corey Dow battling with Leo Gibson in the corner. And Leo pops it up into the air. Nestor Hernandez is there, trapped by 2 white jerseys, and a foul called on the Comets. A restart coming up here to St. Louis.
Good start to the second half by the Comets there, Nick. I'll tell you, I just saw coaches Doug McCloggin and Alan Mayer, and that's who I was speaking with here for the last 4 or 5 minutes. And Coach McCloggin's comment was, the team that commits the least amount of mistakes in the second half is going to win the game. Mm-hmm. Real simple, right? Sometimes it's not brain surgery. I mean, that's coming from a very, very knowledgeable source right there. Coach Mayer also said, he went down and talked to Casey a little bit. And he's got his notepad out there and some things, and we might see a little different goalkeeper in the second half. We'll see.
Leo with a nice steal and gets it over to Beltran. Beltran over the half line. Calmly plays it back to Nacho. Leo boots it forward. Trying to get it to Guy Gomes, but Hernandez is there. 50-50 ball, fought for. And the deflection picked up by Gibson. Here's Leo, slots it forward to Kelly. Kelly runs in on it in the corner. Taken down, no call. And St. Louis back with it the other way. There's Kostakis. Over to Paulo Nascimento. Over to Victor France.
You're already seeing a change here with the Comets. Seeing Kevin Tenaika is out in the second half right here. Kevin was not playing in the first half. We'll see what kind of stability Kevin can provide for the Comets. Obviously, Kevin's a very experienced professional player with both the Comets and the Wichita Wings franchise.
Great to see Ten Eyck back with the Comets. A Wichita native and back with the Comets, an experienced player. Media timeout. We're tied at 4 here live at Silverstein Eye Center's Arena. There's already been some great games around the league so far, Bud, and the MASL kicked it off with Milwaukee and Tacoma, and what a great example for this game. That was just one of the most exhilarating games we've seen in a long time. Really represented the MASL well.
When you're talking about arena soccer and what it has to offer, Alex Megson, former Comet, hitting a bicycle kick to tie the game against Milwaukee Wave with 0.4 seconds remaining on the clock. Unbelievable. Right? Unbelievable. A native of Tacoma, grew up as a Tacoma Stars fan. His father's obviously a great player. Scores that goal. You couldn't be happier for that team and that franchise. Lane Smith is the owner of the Tacoma Stars. He's done a great job. He has 5 former Comets on his roster right now. I told him, I said, bare minimum, okay, the bare minimum, you should be divisional champs, Lane. Okay? You have 5 Comets. You've got Danny Waltman, you got Alex Megson, you got Robert Palmer, Ramon Palmer, and Alan Matingu over there. Okay, bare minimum you can do is be winning a conference championship over there. So, great game to lead off. Max Ferdinand does what Max Ferdinand does, right? He goes to overtime, ISOs a couple players, and hey, we've seen it a million times.
Oh, my God, yeah.
You don't let Max Ferdinand run by himself. He's running free, and then there you go. He slops the ball past his good friend Danny Waltman, and Milwaukee Waves start out 1-0.
Unbelievable. Just a great game. Last night there was another good game. I was watching the game in Turlock, and Syracuse gets an overtime win last night on the road, heading out west for the first time in their franchise history.
Ubi Parapovic, 3 goals. I whipped that out, by the way, and I'm proud of myself for being able to say that name. Slavisa doing a great job.
A near miscue by St. Louis. Acosta has it. Acosta holding it. Now over to Paulo. High pressure from the Comets. Now played long up to Everton. Everton's header out of bounds. It'll turn it back over to Kansas City.
Yeah, Silver Knight's going to have a good season again this year. You know, Coach Tommy, or not Coach, I should say GM, owner Tommy Tanner's put a great squad together again. You know, with Bo Yelovic and Ubi Perifovic and Canardo Forbes, who I love Canardo Forbes this game. We've tried to steal him for the last 5 or 6 years.
Boy, he's one of those players that's kind of runs under the radar for whatever reason, but he's always there. Really effective player, nice player.
We were able to steal another player from Syracuse. His name's Anthony Grant. Played for the Richmond Kickers, but also played for Syracuse a couple years back. 14 goals in 10 games Mr. Anthony Grant had for Syracuse 2 years ago. Just waiting on some visa issues, and we expect Anthony Grant to be playing next weekend against the Milwaukee Wave. And he can fly, Nick. That's all I'll say. He can fly.
Can't wait to see him. 5 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in the third. We are tied at 4. Dylan Hundelt to Adamson, picked off by the Comets' Patrick Kelly. Now the ball loose. Perez picks it up. Here's Perez to the middle.
Yeah, I think Brian Perez is going to rewatch that, you know, on film, and he's going to think, you know, he should have took that himself. You know, you get in that situation, that's all you. You know, now I will defend Mr. Perez. I know that he is playing probably at 60%. He's had some huge back issues. He missed the first 2 weeks of training camp and just started to come back this past week.
Oh, my. Wish all the best to him. I don't wish any back problems on any person out there. That just makes life tough. Here's Lucas. See if the Comets can get Lucas Rodriguez involved here in the second half. Game's tied at 4.
You know, Nick, I also saw Goran Hunyak here a little bit ago, and, you know, you thought he just had a baby. I mean, he's smiling from ear to ear. Boy, he was so happy for his son to get that goal right there.
Well, you know, it's amazing. You've got Goran Hunyak, and I think him and Kevin Hundel's paths crossed somewhere along the way when they were playing indoor, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's really neat to see Tanner Hunyak and now Dylan Hunyak playing against each other, their sons. That's pretty neat. Here's Casey Gasson. Sidearm passing. Here comes Tanner Hunyak with a drive and just above the crossbar. Good shot there by Tanner. Will he take another crack at it? Down to Nacho. Nacho's double teamed in the corner. Left for Tanner. He tried to slot it through to a teammate. It's kicked away. Now Gibson with a drive, and that one up and over the glass. Other games around the MASL tonight, and that is Cedar Rapids is at Milwaukee, and Milwaukee wins 11-7 over Cedar Rapids. Also, Florida is traveling to Rio Grande Valley, and Florida is leading RGV 8-3. That game is in the second. Here we have a very close game. We are knotted at 4, and we have just under 4 minutes to play here in the third. Foul called on Guy Gomes. Quick restart by St. Louis. Forward to Everton. There's Ephraim Shiftless right down there, the head coach of Park University. We see him right there in front of our broadcast position. And wouldn't you know that Coach Shimless is sporting some Comets gear? Love it.
You know, Coach Shimless was, you know, he was obviously a great player for the Comets in the attack. Great shot by Everton, huh?
What a drive by Everton, rattling the cage.
Correction, Kansas City foul change from 15 to number 21, Patrick Kelly. Second of the half, first of the half.
Leo Gibson breaks free. Over to Perez. Perez tracks it down. They'll kick it away from the goal. And it's picked up by Ten Eyck. Left side, Gomes. Now Perez. Patrick Kelly takes it. Perez goes off and Rodriguez comes on. Changes for the Comets. Leo on the referee's crease. Back to Casey Gasson. Gibson. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in the third. Casey Gasson up into the air. Leaves it off for Rodriguez. Then Gibson forward to Sinclair. O'Dane Sinclair lets it hit the boards. Tried to turn with the ball.
What a ball by Leo Gibson right there, Nick, huh?
Incredible. Well, as good as a finisher as Leo is, he is just as good as setting up his teammates. I think, over the course of his career, when he was playing up top in a forward position, he would have as many assists as he would have goals. I think that's been the case for the last several years in his career.
Extremely unselfish player. Two-footed, obviously. Fantastic touch, fantastic decision-making. Darn near impossible to get off the ball.
Foul on Sinclair.
Just a complete player.
Foul on Sinclair, under 2 minutes to play in the third. We're tied at 4. There's only been one goal scored here in the third. Casey Gasson will clear it long. Comets will stay back defensively. On the floor or on the field for the Comets, Flores, Tanner, Perez, Beltran, Gibson. St. Louis's Almeida plays it forward. It's headed back into the corner. Here's Tanner Hunyak battling with Paulo Nascimento. And Paulo pounces on it for the ambush. Ambush out shooting the Comets 12-10 so far. Looking for Everton. A bad pass there picked off by Stokic. Stokic plays the ball in front. Stokic goes down, turned over to St. Louis. Here's Pino. Good move by Pino to get around Almeida. Pino. Perez. Perez did not get the right amount of leather on that.
3v2s, Nick. You got to score on every 3v2. You got to score on that. That's going to be something the Comets are going to look at later, and that might come back to haunt them.
Burko. Pushed from behind by Guy Gomes. And this is going to give St. Louis a great chance here on the restart.
I'll tell you, Guy, a little slow to get to that spot. Here, two things about that's a mistake. One is Stefan Stokic is in fantastic position defensively, so you actually don't even need to come in there and engage on the player. You just need to provide some sort of support and balance. It's a bad mistake. Now you're giving up this, like you said, a very dangerous position on the set piece.
Hernandez rolled over the top of it, and the Comets cleared away. Boy, Everton put it over to Hernandez in a really good spot, and Nestor couldn't get the right side of his boot on it. Burko tried to pump it into the corner for Everton and has the ball wrestled away from him, but first a foul called on Sinclair. That's two quick fouls on.
Sinclair, his second of the half.
That's his second of the half. So he'll have to be a little bit careful here throughout the rest of the third. 14 seconds left in the third. Comets and ambush tied at 4. Here's Everton with 3 seconds left, 2 seconds. Horn will sound, and that'll do it for the third. So the Comets get the only tally in this third quarter, a power play goal by Ignacio Flores with the assist going to Brian Perez. And we are tied up at 4. The final 15 minutes, fourth and final frame on the way. Glad you were with us. The Comets 4 and the Ambush 4. You're watching MASL TV on YouTube.
So Kansas City Chiefs, New York Giants, Cowboys of Dallas, Broncos of Denver, Seahawks, Green Bay,
Mega Man, Batman, Superman, Supergirl, Captain America, Robin, Spider-Man, Green Lantern, Hulk.
Well, there's a banner for Tanner, as in Tanner Hunyak. At the end of 3 quarters, Casey Gasson has saved 4, and for Paulo Nascimento, he saved 3. Comets out shooting the ambush now, 15-4. And we're back underway. Flores has 2 goals for the Comets. Victor France has 2 goals for the ambush. Here's Pepe. Back to Acosta.
Hey Jeff, is there a schedule for the rest of the regular season?
Ball out front. Comets trying to get it out of their last third, and Flores is there. He takes it out wide and will kick it long. Smart play by Flores to get it out of the danger zone. Changes by St. Louis. Pepe holds it. Now everybody in position and angling a pass for the corner to Burko. Burko marked there by Guerrero Pino. Leaves it for Hernandez. Hernandez to Salouin, a near side Pepe. Chipped forward into the middle then, off Gerger Gibson. And the Comets trying to clear it. Here comes Tanner Hunyak chasing down the loose ball. Hunyak to Rodriguez. Now shot, goal! Patrick Kelly gives the Comets a lead. It's 5-4.
Kansas City Comets.
What a nice play. It got through Rodriguez, but making the run down the right side was Kelly, and he timed it perfectly and sent a low screamer past Paulo Nascimento.
4 seconds into the 4th quarter, scored by number 21, Patrick.
And that one went 5-hole through Paulo.
By number 10, Lucas Rodriguez.
And Lucas is going to get the assist on that play. No team has had more than a goal lead or deficit the entire night. Here's Adamson. Played to Acosta. And then Paulo. Healed back to Sinclair. Forward to Leo. Gibson shoots, and Gibson scores! Wow! That was calm, cool, collected.
He made that look easy, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Look at this little first touch by Leo right here, first touch. Opens out his phone, sends a couple tweets, says I'm going to put it up right-hand corner, slots that ball right on in there, huh?
Thank you for shopping.
Well,
Look at that.
Finish.
Oh.
3-touch finish.
God.
1 to settle, 2 to tweet, 3 to score, right?
The amazing Leo Gibson. And St. Louis calls timeout.
So, what did we talk about, Nick? We talked about some of the guys, more established guys, kind of stepping up a little bit. Lucas Rodriguez.
Nacho.
Year 2, but you're expecting more out of guys like him and Pino in year 2. And then now Leo Gibson, right? The other thing I've noticed, Leo's moving up the field a little bit more. Okay, right? Like he was sitting back a whole lot in the first half. Almost borderline kind of sweeperish, if you will. Now he's up around half a little bit. Kevin Tenike, the entrance of, of Kevin has allowed Leo to get a little bit higher. And Leo high is a good thing.
Yeah. Comets' next game is going to be on Sunday, November the 12th, 5:05, right here at Silverstein Ice Center's Arena against the Milwaukee Wave, their Central Division rivals. Get your tickets now by logging on to kccomets.com. 1-866 for KC goal.
1-888-9-COMETS.
1-888-9-COMETS.
New phone number, new office. We're down in downtown Kansas City now, not far from the Fox 4 WDAF TV location, down off 17th and Main.
I'm going to have to come see you guys. I haven't been to the new office yet.
5th floor, down there with the CBS Sports guys as well. It's a good spot, to be honest with you, Nick.
Perfect. 1-888-9-COMETS. I love it. We will see you Sunday, November 12th, for the Comets and the Wave.
Coach Giuliano Oliviero and his Milwaukee Wave.
They're good. They're good, man. They are good.
Jules has settled into that role
Yeah.
so well.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Zimmerman, the owner up there with the Milwaukee Wave, has done a great job with that franchise, allowing Jules to kind of have his own place there. Ian Bennett on a lifetime agreement with the Milwaukee Wave. How do I get a lifetime agreement, Nick? Holy cow.
Another steal by the Comets, trying to make the defense of the ambush pay. Paulo Nascimento was scrambling back. Ball still loose, and the ambush able to wrestle it away. 12 minutes to play in the game. The Comets have built a 2-goal lead, their largest of the night. Now Victor Franz trying to make a bid for a hat trick. He gets it back again, he shoots, and he scores! It's a hat trick for Victor Franz, who would not be denied. It's 6-5.
Bad defense by the Comets right there. I'm going to say that there. Nacho is going to look at that later and not be happy with himself. He's standing there in the box, and you can't blame that one on Casey here. Now, I watch Nacho's positioning here, right? If we get that replay back here a little bit, what you're going to see is Nacho's allowing that player to be goal side as opposed to as the defender you need to be goal side right there. See, there you go, right. Nacho's sitting flat-footed. Victor Franz runs around him. Nothing you can do. In this league, if you're one-on-one with the goalkeeper, basically, at the top of the arc, you should score every time, and Victor Franz did.
Goals for number 15, Victor Franz. Assisted by number 25, Dylan Hundelt.
Hundelt's going to get the assist on that.
Now, Nick, I want you to look at who's playing forward right now for the Kansas City Comets.
I see number 14 out there. I know who that guy is. That's Leo Gibson.
There's your change.
Yep.
Kevin Tenike comes in second half. Plays in the back. Carlos Trombini is also playing in the midfield now as well, and now Leo Gibson up top. So Coach Renfed's made quite a few changes, quite frankly. Here's
Trombini. Tees up the left footer, and that one sails over the glass. There's Carlos Trombini.
Look who else moved to the back. O'Dane Sinclair.
Yeah.
O'Dane played in the back last year.
Boy, Corey Adamson just drove Beltran down to the ground, and finally the foul is called on Adamson. There's Corey Dow, one of the several St. Louis native players they have on their team.
St. Louis foul number 4. Adamson, his first of the half.
Here comes Sinclair, chugging down the right side. Corey Dow trying to shield him away. Ball against the boards. Sinclair gets it back. Oh, nice play by Sinclair. Back to Sinclair on the. Oh, could not finish that one. Sinclair to Hunyak and then back to Sinclair almost. But St. Louis with good defense.
Good change by the Comets there. Tanner and Pino right there. That's good work by the Comets right there. A little more organized, as you can tell.
Comets take it away. Here's Leo. Leo stops, shoots, and Leo scores! You've got to be kidding me! Oh my, that's a Leo special right there.
Nick, the term is soul roll. That's what that is. That's a soul roll right there.
Oh, wow.
This ball comes to Leo, soul roll right there. A little pull V, and almost slot it. It's just a little pull V with a little soul roll, Nick. That's all that is. Simple. Whoop.
He's
Nestor
amazing.
Hernandez goes flying right by. And then what do you got?
Oh my gosh.
You got one of the best finishers in the league, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and he can just pick a spot. Little so whoop, right there. There he goes. Now here's the problem. You can watch film all day long. Next time Leo's not going to pull V you. Right now he's going to roll it over the other way, and he's going to hit it with his left. You know. The whole point about Leo is you just got to be close to him.
He's so calm and he's so accurate.
Yeah, you're seeing the change. Kevin Ten Eyck and O'Dane in the back. Leo Gibson up top. Huge difference.
Adjustments there by Coach Kim. Runfed has built the Comets a 2-goal lead. Under 10 minutes to play now in the game. Perez gets the assist on that last goal. Here's Cody Kostakis. Leaves it back to Paulo. Nascimento. Nascimento's pass picked up by the Comets. Guerrero Pino. Bangs away Burko.
Good play by Pino.
Off the boards to Beltran, who shoots. Save made by Paulo. Rebound comes right back to Beltran.
Smart move by Alvey right there. Nothing's there. Pull it back. Keep the possession. You got a 2-goal lead. You've taken the wind out of the ambush sail right now. You just need a little bit of possession.
Beltran. Looks like Casey Gasson is making a few more quicker decisions than he was in the first half. Maybe that was one of the notes.
What you're going to see, Nick, from Leo Gibson is he's going to be a two-way player this year, a little bit more. He's going to play in the front and the back. It's going to depend on the situation. I think what Coach Runfed just realized is O'Dane is good in the back there. Kevin Ten Eyck, his knee is not healthy, quite frankly, so that's why he hasn't played the whole game. You know, the Comets only dressed 14 guys out of the 15 today. The league hasn't ruled that Andre Braithwaite is eligible yet. Kyle Williams is out. We got 4 guys with visas out. So Coach Runfed's playing, quite frankly, 13 players, and then Kevin Ten Eyck's not healthy either.
Wow.
So you're really looking at 12.
And a goal by St. Louis again. It's Victor France again.
St. Louis.
I think Victor France is going to buy Casey Gasson dinner tonight after the match. Casey is single-handedly putting Victor on the first team of the league.
That's his 4th goal on the night. we get a replay here, we can. Here's another replay of it. And it looks like Lucas Almeida. Oh, he just played it up to Victor France, and Victor France was basically
Ambush goal scored at 6 minutes and 31 seconds.
right in front of Gasson.
Distribution again, for Casey just creates those situations and those problems right there.
Corey Dow. Corey Dow with a drive and a good save by Gasson. Now around the boards, and it goes in. The game is tied. Lucas Almeida sends it around the glass, and it's one of those crazy indoor goals. It caught the far post, and it goes in. We're tied at 7.
That's nobody's fault right there, Nick. I'll tell you that.
Brand new ball game.
St. Louis goal scored at 6 minutes and 54
Wow.
seconds.
The problem is, Nick, is
by number 10.
If a goal like that happens, it's a fluke goal. Let's call it what it is. But if it's all these other mistakes and issues, it's not as big of a deal. But now you're tied 7-7 after, quite frankly, you've had a bunch of possession. If you're a Comets fan, you've had a bunch of possession. You've had a bunch of opportunities on goal. You looked great, and now you've given up 2 quick goals here. And even though it's unlucky and it's a fluke, it's a goal. Still counts the same, right?
And it's deflating all of that energy and everything that you had.
We got Leo right here.
Gibson with a drive again, and that one deflected wide. Leo's going to try to get it back. A second shot, a third. And Comets asking for a handball there. Not getting it now. Out front, and Perez jams it in, and the Comets are back out in front. What a crazy exchange there, bud.
It's a lot to dissect on that particular play right there, Nick. All right, first things first. Patrick Kelly's hustle is what creates that goal right there, okay? That's the first thing. Patrick Kelly got fouled, in my opinion. Was fouled in the box. Right here, stick his foot, whoop, right underneath there. Goalkeeper, you were too careless right there in that situation. There's too many Comets in the box.
Wow.
You got to go down on the ball. You're not trying to dribble that thing around in there. But Pat Kelly's persistence is what created that situation. Because initially, he did a mistake with a lot of players too. Sitting there calling at the referee saying handball, handball, handball. Well, if he just kept focusing on that, maybe he doesn't dispossess the ambush goalkeeper.
Meanwhile, back at the other end, here's Hernandez with a drive and a save made by Casey Gasson, maybe his best of the night so far. And it keeps the Comets out in front 8-7.
Well, if it wasn't his best, Nick, it sure as heck was the biggest. Great take by Nestor Hernandez, huh?
Wow.
Great take. Great save by Case. That's a great shot right there by our crew. Dangerous corner kick right now here. What kind of organization are we going to have?
Victor France, Everton, and Pepe basically out front. Almeida would trigger the restart. Comets lead by a goal. Almeida, Everton, shot blocked by the Comet defense, and then kicked away, and a foul is called against St. Louis.
Good job by Lucas selling out right there on that play, Nick. Just selling himself. You watch Lucas right here. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Just get the ball out. That's the difference right there between a veteran player and a rookie goalkeeper for the ambush. Lucas not trying to dribble that ball. Just get it out.
Forward to Tanner. Tanner Hunyak, marked by Almeida. Tanner Hunyak away from the goal to Sinclair. Now center circle to Stokic. Under 7 to play in the game. The Comets with a 1-goal lead. Rodriguez for Tanner Hunyak. Ball bounces off the dasher boards into open area. And Victor France, who has 4 goals tonight, takes it for St. Louis. They eventually get it back to their keeper. And then France is tripped up by Tanner Hunyak. Ron Corey comes over.
I mean, just go ahead and pencil Victor France, right, in the first team All-MISL. I mean, he's got my vote.
No question about it.
My vote counts, so he's getting mine. 4 goals.
He certainly is on his way for Player of the Week honors, no doubt about it.
Still 6.5 minutes left in this game, Nick.
Foul on Kansas City number 5.
Look how far Paulo Nascimento has ventured out. He's up towards the half line for St. Louis.
Bench warning on Kansas City for delay of game.
Now Victor Franz making a bid for number 5. Here's Acosta. Now to Victor Franz again, marked by Stokic. Away from the goal. Front and center Acosta.
Good possession by the ambush right here. Get the Comets pinned down, having to defend a lot.
Five minutes and 52 seconds left to play in the game. Tanner Hunyak with the rebound, gets cut down, and no call. The Comet bench is not happy.
Good job by O'Dane Sinclair and Lucas Rodriguez right there on the centering pass by the ambush.
Schmerman to Cody Kostakis. Stakis with some pressure from the Comets. Ambush trying to build up their offense. Schmerman to Kostakis, back to Schmerman. Now Schmerman darts inside, centering pass to Stéphane Louis, who fanned on the shot.
Great move by Schmerman. Put Pat Kelly on skates right there. Got to finish that. You got to at least get a shot on goal if you're Stephon St. Louis.
Easily could have tied the game. Now Hundelt, front and center. Everton. Now Paulo Nascimento with a drive, and that one above the crossbar. The goalkeeper there for St. Louis, Leo. Kicks it out to Patrick Kelly.
I love what I just saw right there. Leo played a great ball to Pat, and he put his hand up, said, hold the ball, don't go forward with it, let's get some possession. We just defended for a long stretch. Let's get some shift changes. That's your veteran leadership right there by Leo Gibson.
That one kicked out of bounds, and that's going to go to the Comets with a great spot right at the top of the arc.
Park Rangers 0, Oklahoma City Energy 0 in the 80th minute.
And an update here from the USL Western Conference Championship. The Swope Park Rangers and the OKC Energy are scoreless as that game has now moved into the 80th minute. Restart to the Comets. Rodriguez hit it first time off target. Now Gibson with a drive, and that one wide. Nacho gets it back. His left footer blocked by the ambush. Rebound comes out front and center. Perez is there. Chips it forward to Pino. Under 4 to play in the game, and the Comets holding a slim 1-goal lead. Perez, marked by Kostakis. Now Gibson, near side Pino. Guerrero Pino. Nacho Flores. Out front and center to Gibson. Gibson trying to cut it back into Pino. Forward to Everton. He's got nobody going forward with him, so Everton will hold it. He gets knocked to the ground, and a foul called on Gibson of the Comets. Changes for both teams. Fresh legs out on the floor now. Nascimento has it. Front and center, Victor Franz. Comets and ambush. The season opener for both these teams.
Watching the 6th attacker, Nick, get ready to come out here.
Here's Jer Gibson up front and center. No need because he jams it home and the game is tied. It's like the 3rd or 4th time St. Louis has gotten goals like that.
I'll tell you the problem here, right? Look how deep Casey is right here on this goal. You see, so when you got a forward that's targeted and he's ISO'd with his back and the ball's played into him into the box, as a goalkeeper, you have to try to close down that angle as much as possible, right? So it's just all about the distance between your line and where that player is at. And if you sit back, what you're just allowing, what you're basically saying is, the only save I can make is within my frame, right? Well, further you get closer to that forward, the less amount of space there is.
Yeah, he was like 10 feet in front of the goal. So the game once again is tied. And the Comets and the Ambush go back to work here. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to play in the game. Here's Leo. Got it up to Beltran. Beltran down to Trombini. Trombini. Away from the goal. Now Leo Gibson. Here's Leo. Leo, the left foot. Kicked back out. Now Perez. Perez to Beltran. Now Sinclair. Sinclair ahead to Trombini. It bounces high, and Perez is there. Now Trombini hit the crossbar. Oh, Margaret. Once again in there. Perez, oh my gosh! What a goal! Ike golazo, Brian Perez.
BP.
Oh, wow.
Happy birthday, happy belated birthday to Brian Perez right there, Nick.
That's his second on the night, and more importantly, it gives the Comets a lead with only 1:52 left to play in the game. What a pretty goal.
Fundamental soccer right there, okay? 1, settle with the thigh. 2, you start adjust your hips to get ready. 1, 2, boom. He knew the whole time he's going to take it. Gets a nice settle in the cradle in his thigh right there. He's addressing his body because he's already turning his hips. Second touch on the foot to set it up, and then he smashes it in the side. Great job by El Captain BP. Now, Nick.
Coach Kim Runfed directing the troops out there.
You know what he's saying? Okay, now play some defense, okay? Be organized. There's 2 minutes left, 6th attacker. Play some defense. Coach Runfed's on the bench right now, leaning over. He's fired up, wants to see how his team reacts.
A steal by the Comets. Open net. Shot. Missed it. Goal! Pino on the rebound, and the Comets lead 10-8.
Good awareness by the Comets. Bad execution on the 6-tacker by the Ambush.
And with 1:35 left to play, that should be enough. But again, there's 1:35 left, and we know how fast goals can come in this game.
The key on that goal, Nick, to be honest with you, other than the bad execution by the Ambush, is Pino didn't stop his run. He didn't assume that he was going to hit it, or score it, I should say, after he hit it. And that's a good experience play.
6th attacker still out there. 10-8. Comets on top by 2.
So you've got Stefan Stokic, Leo Gibson, Nacho Flores, Pat Kelly, and Pino out on the floor right here trying to kill this thing out.
Those are all the best defenders the Comets have. Here's Jerjer Gibson. Victor France making a bid for number 5. And Patrick Kelly is shaking up on the play with 1:14 left on the clock.
Patrick looked like he got hit in the face there. The one thing that's nice for Pat Kelly is, if he got hit in the mouth, he had some teeth issues, he can just call his dad, who's the team's official dentist, and get some dental work.
Get another replay of it here.
Oh,
he ran into Jerjer.
Ran into the chin of Jerjer. Nothing intentional there, malicious. Just that happens at times.
There's been a lot of crashing into Jerjer, and he's won nearly every time. He's a big body. Gibson kicks it to the Ambush half side of the field. 6th attacker out there. Here's Everton over to Almeida. Back to Almeida. And another steal by the Comets. Pepe was there. And a foul called on St. Louis. Under a minute to play, 50.7 seconds left on the clock. And the Comets with a 2-goal lead. Boy, that second goal huge. Comets into the corner. Crowd rises to their feet. Sinclair in the area. So is Tanner Hunyak, but picked up by Jer Gibson. He had it poked away from behind, and then a big collision with Leo Gibson and Jer Gibson, and a penalty is now going to be called against Leo Gibson. By the way, Jer and Leo are both from the same city and country, both from Monrovia, Liberia. Here comes the collision.
Comets penalty.
It's a 2-minute foul.
Yep.
2-minute penalty for sure. It's a good call by the official crew right there.
2 minutes for tripping.
If you're Leo Gibson, you have to commit that foul right there. Now, Nick, 24 seconds. I've sat in this seat next to you and watched the Baltimore Blast score 2 goals in less than 24 seconds. So anything is possible. Left the two of us completely speechless, by the way.
It's the best scenario for St. Louis. The clock is not moving, and they got a chance to get a tally here.
And one of the Comets' best players are not on the field.
All right, Comets fans, let's get behind our defense.
All right, here we go. Everton, Almeida. Back to Everton, 22 seconds left. Into the corner, Victor Franz funnels it in there, and Casey Gasson. He'll call timeout.
Timeout, Comets.
Timeout, 14.6 seconds left. Coach Runfed wanted him to call timeout, settle the boys down here for the final 14 seconds here. That's looking better. You dodged the restart there. But you're still a man down.
I thought, Nick, to be honest with you, if I was the ambush, I thought that they would go off of you'd have a one pass, second touch as a shot. Just my personal opinion, because you got the clock stopped, you got things set up, you've got your better group out there. I was expecting that. I wasn't expecting them to try to knock it around a little bit in that particular situation, because the first goal is the one that matters.
Right.
So you got to get that as quick as possible.
The Simmons Bank post-game autograph session starts immediately following the game. The players will remain on the field after tonight's match, and fans are encouraged to head to section 119 to enter the autograph session. Comets season ticket holders can enter early through section 102.
Again,
Presenting their season tickets.
Again, the Comets' next game is coming up on November the 12th. It's Sunday, 5:05. Milwaukee Wave coming in here to Silver Sinai Centers Arena. Game's 5:05 Sunday. For tickets, 1-888-9-COMETS. 888-9-COMETS. 11 seconds left. And it's looking great for the Comets, who are going to start this campaign with a win. A 10-8 win here. 2 seconds left. Everton with a drive. Blocked by the Comets. The horn sounds, and that's it. Comets. It wasn't always pretty, but in the end, they got it done. They defeat the St. Louis Ambush by a final score of 10-8. Whew.
Woo is right, Nick. A couple things you can take away from this game. One, St. Louis Ambush are dramatically improved from last year. They are not going 1-19. I'd bet my house on it. Okay, they're not going 1-19 again. Ambush is going to factor in the Central Division race. Two, the Comets have a lot of things they still need to work out. Personnel-wise, where players are playing at, familiarity. Hopefully, goalkeeper Casey Gasson can work with Coach Alan Mayer and get some organization a little bit better with his distribution. But at the end of the day, winning in this league is hard. Any coach will tell you that. So getting a win is important.
That guy right there, Leo Gibson, proving once again why he is one of the very best in the history of this game. Just looking at the types of goals that he scored. Leo played in the back. He played in the front. Thank goodness for Leo Gibson. He was simply amazing in the second half. Nacho Flores with a couple of goals tonight for Kansas City. Tanner Hunyak got a goal tonight for the Comets. Guerrero Pino, one of those players like Nacho, we're expecting him to step up. He got a goal late in the game to extend the Comets' lead to 2. So overall, lots of good things, but as you pointed out, Bud, there's still quite a bit to work on. And at least we know that the boys are going to take a positive step here. They're going to look at a lot of stuff they need to work on, but they're going to know that they got the first win, and they can build off this as they're going to welcome in an even tougher team in the Milwaukee Wave on Sunday. And it's going to be fun to see the Wave, and I know the players are looking forward to a great challenge with the Milwaukee Wave. And let's check in with Steve Serrano. He's going to be talking with Brian Perez.
How did it feel for this home opener tonight?
It was a great start. Obviously, thank you, fans. Thank you, mi amor. I love you. And it was great. Great start.
Very close all the way to the end. It was tied up in less than 2 minutes, 2 goals. How was this for the team?
It was, like I said, it was a very good start for us to get this win for the season. So, again, thank you guys for believing in us and cheering for us.
You're back next Sunday. Anything else you want to say to these fans for coming out here and supporting this big win tonight for the Comets?
Hey, guys, I hope you had fun, and I hope to see you guys next weekend.
There you go. Your man of the match right there, Brian Perez. 2 goals, 2 assists. A big win for the Comets, 10-8. Nate? Thank you, Steve.
2 goals and 2 assists for Brian Perez.
And I will say, a quiet 2 goals and 2 assists. You and I just looked at each other. Obviously, the 1 goal was spectacular, but that's a quiet 2 goals and 2 assists.
And well deserved. And as we mentioned, Brian Perez, now the new captain of the Kansas City Comets. So a good start to the season here for the local boys, and a good night of soccer here, and I hope you enjoyed it. By the way, we should also mention here the other scores from around the league tonight. Milwaukee knocked off Cedar Rapids by a score of 11-7, and at last check, Florida was beating Rio Grande Valley by 5 goals. That game was in the first half. So check MASLsoccer.com for all of the latest scores and happenings around the league. That's going to do it for us here at Silverstein Ice Center's Arena. But it's great to see you, great to hear you back on the broadcast. It's great to have indoor soccer back in Kansas City as well for the 8th straight year.
Good time tonight, Nick. Good win. It's fun to be back. It's fun to watch the boys play. I think the team's only going to get better. I'll be honest with you. I just know the personnel, what we got, the health that we've got. The team's going to get better. I'm excited to see how things go.
My thanks to Jeff Husted at our broadcast position here, helping us out with a lot of the there's one of the great goals by Leo, helping us out with our broadcast. Also thanks to Brad Zimmerman, our director tonight, and all of his great staff, for the photographers down on the field, and making the broadcast look and sound as great. For my partner, Brian Budzinski, my name is Nick Vassos. Once again, the final score, the Comets 10 and the Ambush 8. The next Comets game is next Sunday here at Silverstein, 5:05. The Comets will welcome in the Milwaukee Wave. We hope to see you here, 1-888-9 Comets. That's going to do it for our broadcast tonight. Thanks for watching, and good night.